Welcome back, everybody. Today, what we're going to focus on is moving forward with the history of civil engineering and architecture. So the first thing you'll need to do is log in to your civil engineering and architecture course in MyPLTW, which we should have all set up last week. From there, you can select on Unit 1, or you can come over to the course library and scroll down to Overview of Civil Engineering and Architecture, which should bring you into your first assignment here. Everybody should have started working on questions 1 through 5 the other day, and we're going to continue working on the rest of this today and tomorrow. So I'm hoping by the end of class tomorrow, you have finished 1 through 17 and answered these conclusion questions. You're going to have to log in and take attendance both days using the same slide. Please make sure you do that, especially if you're home and virtual. So you have the presentation here under resources. You have two options. You can sit here and listen to me present that, or if you think you're confident covering that material by yourself, you're welcome to do that. But again, you've got those two options. So I'm going to select that. From there, I'll get another option. I'll have to select it one more time. It'll come to my downloads. Depending on the device you're using, it may be slightly different, but in most cases, that will go to your downloads. Give it a second to open. And then here we go. So a history of engineering and architecture. So there is a slight difference between civil engineering and architecture. So a civil engineer, these are going to be people that design and construct public spaces, okay, or public works, bridges, dams, large facilities. Okay, it's a little bit different than an architect, which is somebody that designs buildings for people to live in or human habitation. All right, so we do have a lot of images here. Basically, what you're looking at is some of the early civil engineering and architecture structures. And really the big concept here is vernacular architecture. So in early civil engineering and architecture, most structures were created from stuff that they could find readily in that area. So for instance, when we think about Greece, it was most entirely limestone and marble. So most of their structures, that's what they were constructed of, and that's what we see. And again, vernacular architecture, using what you have readily available in that area to create structures. So wood was readily available in China. And if we think about traditional Chinese structures, we see a lot of wood in those places. So there's a slide defining vernacular architecture. So constructing use locally available resources and traditions to address those local needs. So if you want to scroll through this, just take a look at what we have there. You're really not going to be tested on this. Maybe a couple of definitions: vernacular architecture, civil engineering architecture, and those terms are really what you should grab out of this. We do have some old pyramids, and then we'll take a look at some of the modern pyramids. The Parthenon. We have some stuff on arches here. Okay, so the keystone is that centermost stone in the top of an arch, which really gives the whole thing its strength and stability. So that is another term that you guys will cover when we get into some of this stuff. The vaults, when we have four arches come together. Domes. The Colosseum. Great Wall of China. All right, so water supply, or Roman aqueducts. So one of the earliest methods of transporting water. Road systems, mostly stone at this time. Early bridges, mostly wooden structures, some stone. And then we start seeing some of our first bridges. These were made out of cast iron, which was extremely expensive at the time. And as it got cheaper, we start seeing it more. Structural steel and concrete. So one of the best known structures when we start thinking about steel and concrete, the Empire State Building, completed in 1931. Anybody know what this one is? The Burj Khalifa. This is in Dubai. I believe right now it's the tallest standing structure with a whole or a concrete core, but it's a pretty amazing structure. Reinforced concrete bridges, so we're getting a little bit more modern. And that's pretty much all we have in there. I'd like you to take a look at those questions 1 through 17 and see if you can get those answered. You have today and tomorrow to get those completed, and then you can look for your virtual Wednesday assignment come Wednesday. Good luck. Please make sure you log in today and tomorrow with your 9:14, 9:15 virtual classroom to take attendance. So again, make sure you log in today and tomorrow with that same slide to take attendance. Good luck.